Welcome to your Week in Whiskey for August 29th. I'm Gillian, the Ace of Hearts, joining you solo this week as Mike is up in Fredericton setting up for a whiskey show. We have lots of news from the auction block this week, starting with a frequent name here at Whiskey Ace, Shackleton's Whisky. Australian whiskey lovers are looking for a taste of the recently discovered whiskey. NZPA reported this week that local whiskey lovers want to see the whiskey put up for sale despite its estimated $90,000 price tag. If estimates are true, that will make Shackleton's Whisky the most expensive whiskey in the world, surpassing a 62-year-old bottle of Dalmore, which sold for $80,000 in 2005. Currently, only one portion of the whiskey is set to be sampled by those at White & Mackay. They are hoping to recreate the whiskey whose ancient recipe has been lost. Let's hope they are successful, as the remade dram is likely the only one that will be made available for sale. Antarctic Heritage Trust plans to return the crate, taking it home to Cape Royds and replacing it back into the ground where they found it. On our very first episode of Week in Whiskey, we introduced not only Shackleton's Whisky, but also a shipwrecked dram from the ship Whisky Galore. Well, that bottle has since found a home. The rare bottle of Ballantine's Whisky sold for £4,200 at auction. It was only estimated to sell between £1,200 and £1,800. The bottle came from a shipwreck back in 1941. Pianos, motors, and bedding accompanied the 28,000 cases of whiskey on board. Surviving crew members grabbed up the remaining bottles, the majority of those cases, with the auction bottle only coming to light recently. And last week we announced that Edinburgh University had discovered a way to turn whiskey mash and draft into fuel. This week, more distilleries are announcing a switch to green energy. Fast Company reports that a prototype tidal energy turbine will be built on the west coast of Scotland. While the project is being managed by an outside company, energy from the new turbine will benefit 3 different distilleries in the area. The turbine is said to be the world's most advanced, with the ability to provide 23 hours of power to residents each day. It is set to launch in 2013. Also following on the heels of the biofuel announcement, the tequila industry will also be jumping on the green bandwagon. Treehugger announced that it will explore agave-based ethanol. The tequila industry has been criticized in the past for its negative impact to the environment in its agave-growing areas. In addition to attempting to create a new fuel source, tequila distilleries are reportedly also taking on composting, recapturing clean water, and other greening efforts. Efforts will be monitored by newly formed subsidiary Greenhouse Solutions. And in new product news, the Balvenie recently released a new addition to its lineup, a limited edition 17-year-old peated cask. The Balvenie line is known for their lack of peat, so this new bottle is a whole new territory for the company. To create this new malt, Balvenie made a peated barley spirit in 2001. These barrels were later used to age the new 17-year-old malt. The whiskey was then transferred to a second set of barrels that had been charred with peat. A second portion of whiskey was aged in a traditional cask, and the two products were combined and aged together in traditional oak marrying vessels for an additional few months. This process is something Balvenie says is a unique new way of adding smoke to your malt. Master distiller David Stewart is credited with this new method. This is Stewart's 7th unique blend for Balvenie. The company will also release Balvenie 14-year-old Caribbean cask as a permanent bottle this year. And finally, we have an interesting story this week from wired.co.uk. Gilpin Family Whisky is a new product with a very special ingredient that makes it stand apart from its competitors. The single malt secret? The addition of purified urine from elderly diabetics. Yes, you heard that right. James Gilpin is creator of this new single malt. He works as a designer and researcher. Gilpin reportedly came across the idea after reading about a pharmaceutical company's use of processed urine to capture undigested medication and reuse it in their products. The company purifies the urine, capturing sugar-rich molecules, which are then added into the bottles of whiskey. Bottles are labeled with the age and name of the elderly assistant. Don't start checking the liquor store shelves just yet, or avoiding them. Gilpin says that this is more of an art piece than a mass-produced malt. If you do want to taste, however, you can visit Gilpin at Design and Architecture event 100% Materials in London this September. And that's all we have for you this week at whiskyace.com. We hope you'll join us next week on our YouTube channel at whiskyace1 or on our website at whiskyace.com. And if you have your own whiskey news tips, you can email them to whiskyace@hotmail.com. I'll be back next week, hopefully with Mike Gill in tow. Until then, have a good day. Bye-bye.